Thanks, Mel. It is beautiful out here. And friends, today may be the last day of National Indigenous History Month, but that doesn't mean we can't stop celebrating Canada's First Nations and Aboriginal culture. Sage Paul is a force in the fashion world. She's been called a change maker, a trailblazing woman, and Vogue calls her Toronto's cool girl. She's the arts director for Indigenous Fashion Week Toronto and has helped Indigenous artists get a share of the spotlight. We're so glad to have you here, Sage. How are you?
Hi, Dina. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to see you. Let's talk about what you've been doing over this last little while, including bringing so many to the mainstream with the help of Simons. You are getting so much praise for allowing this mainstream platform. Are you finally seeing more diversity when it comes to, showcasing these incredible artists and designers like yourself?
Well, I think the industry is changing and the industry is listening and is seeing that the Indigenous arts and fashion community has a lot of really cool stuff happening. And so that working with Simons was really exciting to be able to have authentic Indigenous representation in the mainstream fashion. I think it really offers consumers insight into what's happening in our community.
What's in store for the Indigenous fashion and art for the rest of the year now?
Well, it's hard to say because there's a lot of unknowns for the rest of the year. We aren't sure what's going to happen, but Indigenous Fashion Week Toronto is working on going online. So regardless of what happens outside, we'll definitely be online by the end of the year with cinematic runway shows, an online marketplace of Indigenous artists and designers, panel discussions. And of course, check out Instagram. If you check out the hashtag Indigenous Fashion, you'll be able to see a lot of Indigenous designers.
Have you seen more art come out of the pandemic protests? And of course, previously to the pandemic as well, there were many movements from the Indigenous community. And how did you see it shaping the art form?
I think that's a tough question. There's always so much to fight for. Human rights are so important. There's protests happening right now. I think it's important to be able to recognize that that's happening separate from the art that's being created. But I have to say that often being Indigenous is just automatically political because of our history, and that just comes out through the work that we're creating, including through fashion.
Yes, we showcased Warren Stephen Scott last week. Beautiful pieces being sought after around the world. Incredible reviews and reaction also mentioned in Vogue magazine. And you want to highlight another designer you work with, Tanya Larson. Tell us about her.
Oh, Tanya Larson was a part of our Simons project also. She's also an Indigenous artist who lives in Whitehorse, and she's actually tanning hides. So even in all of our social distancing, she is still on the land and able to work and hand tanning hides, moose hides, caribou hides. And I just think that's really incredible that we are still going, we still have the world around us, and we can continue to work in different and resourceful and resilient ways.
So Sage, tell us then, how do we get involved? How do we support this incredible art, the arts designers? Where do we go?
Well, first check out simons.ca where you can get some of the garments. I'm actually wearing two of the pieces, the top and the pants from Carolyn Monet.
Beautiful.
And you can get that right from simons.ca. When we're up online, Indigenous Fashion Week Toronto, we will have a marketplace online. And check out Instagram, like I said, Indigenous Fashion hashtag, and you'll be able to find a number of designers that you can support through there. There's many places online, Bethany Yellowtail, where are a few, but I can't think of any more right now, but definitely online you'll find a lot of Indigenous designers.
That's perfect, and we love celebrating Indigenous culture through fashion. You're showcasing it beautifully this morning, and thank you for doing all that you do all year long. Love to you, Sage. We'll be back with more BT right after this.
Thank you.
Good to see you.